coming soon too is Severance, everybody. And Severance dropped its very first trailer for season 2. So let's talk about that in our trailer talk. Severance, everybody. Severance. Adam Scott's coming back for this work-life balance of going into the Matrix in a lot of ways and not knowing what the hell is happening. I don't know if you've seen the first season of Severance. If you haven't, I think it's very much worth checking out. AppleTV Plus show. It's where a guy signs up to get this job. Well, in the job, he has no idea what happens on the outside world, and when he's on the job, he has no idea what happens at the job. So it's this weird kind of like concoction where as soon as he walks in the building, it's like he walks right out. Like he has no idea what happened there the whole day. It's a very intriguing storyline. Ben Stiller's behind this, and Adam Scott is phenomenal. There's a big cast in this too. You also have Christopher Walken in this, which is freaking. He's amazing. He's so great. Him and like who's the other guy? I'm going blank on those on cast. But the new trailer just popped out. Coming out January 17th, 2025 on Apple TV Plus. Waiting for a long time to see this. Let's watch trailer. Let's talk about it. But here's the trailer for Severance Season 2.
Zach Cherry, is that who you're thinking about?
No, Zach Cherry's great.
I've never seen that.
Everything they told you about
so good.
is a lie.
Eminence, front. This is excellent. Who?
Really shot this.
I give consent to sever my memories between my work life
I couldn't love this
and my
anymore.
personal
I
life.
could not.
We're not happy. We're miserable.
What is it we actually do here?
Discover your work life.
My wife.
Yeah, it's like you have no idea. Oh man, this looks. I love that I shot this.
Ryan, you look fantastic today. From Vampirella.
Welcome back,
maybe.
Marcus.
I worked for Adam Scott before.
You like work for everybody. You're like basically you're like the everybody guy. I have a new name for you, everybody guy.
That was mysterious.
It really was. Because when the last season ended too, it's like you don't really know the Democratic necktie, Brian. Hey, no
They
politics.
call
in the
it
show.
blue. It's just blue. It's just blue, Tim.
blue.
Hey, every
Blue
week
da-do-dee-dow.
Republican last week, he's now a Democrat. Tomorrow, I don't know what he is.
This trailer looks cool. It's very mysterious. Of course, we were saying, like Mike said, very mysterious, but it looks fascinating. Again, the first season, the way it ends, they're trying to get outside and actually be able to put their consciousness into the real world. It's very fascinating. Again, when they go into work, it's like their complete memories are separated, as this says. So they have no idea what happens at work. And you walk in and you're walking right out immediately. Like, oh, that's great. That'd be fantastic, actually, for the person outside. Like, you don't even know what happened at work. The first season, I know Angela, you say you didn't see it. There's like moments where he just gets shit-faced. Adam Scott gets shit-faced. And he's like stumbling to work. He's like, and he walks in and then he walks right out and he's fine. He's sober. And he's like, oh, it was a good day. But then inside the office, they show, he's like, oh, what did he do to me? What did I do to myself today? And he's like drunk and hungover the whole day. So it's fascinating.
Yeah.
It would be nice for hangovers. It really would.
It would be great. Yeah.
Question. So would you, and people in the chat, okay, would you do this in like life? Would you want to sever your memories of like work life?
It's difficult.
I would.
But the one thing that's like horrible about it is like it almost puts it into like they're trapped in this world, you know? Like the people on the inside of the job, it's cruel. It's like they're almost like they're they're prisoners at work, you know? That's what they feel like inside the job. So they don't know what they're doing to themselves.
It's
And then they
almost
try
like
to
there's some kind of social messaging that's occurring in the series.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Angel, you gotta get through. I mean, it might start off a little slow burning, but like it really gets good. And towards the end, it gets really good.
So good.
And I'm excited to see where they go this new season. Again, they're trying to like plead to their outside self, and the outside selves don't usually like give into it. It's really fascinating. And then the way it's kind of builds up and builds up and builds up.
Sometimes that stuff can lose me. You know what I mean? Like you can get in, like it sounds great in theory, and then I start watching stuff like that, or like. I shouldn't say stuff like that, but you know, something similar maybe in style. And I'm like, I just start getting like, okay, what's going on here now? And I need like time to catch up. Like my brain's like back here, and I need to like catch over here, like there, and I need to go here, like
it's a lot. You have to like want to sit down and like really get into it too. You can't just like be like put it on the background and do something. This is not a vacuuming your house and watching series.
Right? It's not like you can just mind. I think mindless attention is sort of like good sometimes, and then it's also like if you want. But if I really have to start like like thinking about it and getting deep into it, I have to be in like the right setting and all this stuff. And I sometimes I don't know. I mean, I guess there's a time and place for that. I don't always want to do that. I kind of want it to be like, oh yeah, I got it. Okay. Like, or I can already predict sometimes the plot twist. You know how we can do that with shows, movies. I feel like, that happens sometimes, but with this, I don't know. Like, I feel like it probably is. I'll have to give it a go. I'm kind of on board with, was it Angel on here?
Yeah.
I watched a few episodes and just couldn't stick with it. Yeah. So I think I kind of like when I
give it more time, Angela.
What?
You give it more time. Yeah, give it more time.
Yeah, maybe I need to give it some more time. No, but yeah.
John Turturro? John Turturro?
John Turturro,
yeah. Thinking of? Yeah.
I was going blanking on John Turturro's name. I love John Turturro. He's so freaking good.
Do not fuck with the Jesus.
And he has like he has a relationship with Christopher Walken in this, which is very weird and interesting. It's different. It's like it's so like, what is happening right now? It's like, and it's a slow thing, it's just a moment. It's like moments. And it's like you don't know if they're actually like care for each other or if it's like, or just like a weird office thing. It's there's a lot of interesting relationships in this. They might be in love too, But then again, like you see the outside world, what their lives are actually, they're like totally different people, which is also fascinating. It's like really good character study show. It really is. I've loved it for a long time. The first season, it took me like I would say until maybe an episode or two, and then I was like, okay. Then I freaking dove into it. And I was in. I was hooked. So
you hate it when they do these one seasons and then they're freaking gone for like. They're like 3 years for the next one. It's like that's like dumb to me. Like, why do you do that?
The releases now are real strange.
Well, this is all messed up because of the strikes. That's the reason why this is all messed up. Yeah, they started to stop, and then it took them a while to get the production back up. And it's so
annoying. Like I hate just like stop. Like make at least 2 seasons in a freaking row. At least get me somewhere because you can binge this crap and like, sorry, it's not crap, but you can binge everything like. Usually you could binge now, like some of the network or the streamers are like controlling, so you can only see like one episode. Which I'm gonna quickly run down on this. It bugs me. Like I'm paying for this service to be different from broadcast. That's the whole. You know what I mean? That's the whole point of it. Like I want control. I don't want to have to see. And I know we have the option, which is thank you for the options now that you can pay options. Whatever a ridiculous amount per month.
It's getting ridiculous, yeah.
It's getting ridiculous, right? Like it's just like, come on, you guys. You started off like, I know it's big. We want the big money, and everyone's trying to get like there. But like, what did you start as? What was the point of this? Like, to get away from network. Network is based on advertisers. That's why we're like, we don't want to watch a show and then have to. Oh shit! Like we have to break now for 2 minutes for all kinds of ads, and then it's multiple times throughout the show. It just makes it a little bit like, I don't know. I mean, it is what it is, but
You're right. It felt like that direct pay model was working well for a minute though. And you're making a great point. It does not feel like it's working now. Not at all. It feels like it's turning exactly back into broadcast.
It is turning back into
paying to watch ads.
I'm paying to watch ads when I don't want. I originally didn't want to pay for any of this stuff, and I was watching this stuff without any ad. Just. Does it frustrate you guys too? Like
it does. Like when you pay a little bit more, it's like now Amazon with the $2.99, extra on top of it. And it's like I'm already supposed to get Prime without ads before. It's every network is doing that constantly.
Anybody that believes you're not going to get ads is fucking dreaming. Come on,
you got to sail the high seas.
I know.
You're always going to slide the ads in there.
You got a cave, right? Because that's where. I mean, I work in the business, so I know. Like advertising is. That's where all the money is. That's the money for everybody to live on. So it pays your bills. I mean, I get it. But then it's like, it was never a sustainable. It was a sustainable model for the sense of where it was to like, let's start here. We're going to hook you in. I'm going to hook you. I'm going to get you on. Then you're going to stay because we're going to make this content that's exclusive to us, and you're going to be here for that. I mean, and now it's like, it's just like we're going off on a tangent, but that's okay. Now we're just getting too many networks, too many like too many streamers, excuse me, and it's just becoming flooded. Like, it's just like, it's Tubi, it's this, it's that. Like some you can watch without, not really though. Like, was it Freevee?
Freevee, Tubi, Crackle. Roku has their own Crackle.
But everything now is you have to watch ads. So it's basically like, why am I not watching just like, I think NBC, like all the prime networks are thinking like, all right, well, we're basically doing the same stuff that these guys, now it's like, but then they're making their stream. It's just to me, it's
they all do it. Netflix had their own commercial thing, Peacock has it. They all have it, they all do. Yeah. It's just the world we live in now. They're trying to get back to that basic kind of cable thing. GR, have you ever watched Severance, and are you excited about the new season moving forward?
Not even a little bit.
Not excited at all.
No, I haven't watched it. I don't subscribe to all that crap.
Apple TV.
Yeah, Apple TV, Roku. You pick one. Why pay more? I mean, I use DirecTV, whatever they've got. If I want to watch something, it's there. If I don't, it's not there. So,
what about that? There's a lot of talent in this show. Do you think that the premise is interesting, though?
Yeah, I've had jobs where I don't want to remember them. Trust me. But I mean,
touche.
It's
people are weird.
Great talent.
People are weird.
It is fucking weird. Let's call it what it is.
I'm on board, buddy. Like, I'm with you.
Yeah. So GR doesn't see any reason to watch a season 2. The trailer did it perk your interest at all?
Would I give a shit about season 2?
Yeah.
The cinematography, though, it's so beautiful.
Good.
And the set.
I heart you, GR.
Yeah. Let's send it over to Mike here, because I know Mike does like Severance too.
Walking down this.
Team Severance here, Mike. What do you think? Is this season 2 trailer great? And should people give people a pitch where they should be watching it?
I can give a pitch for myself. If they made a TV show specifically for me and the shit that I like, it would be this show. It's strange that it's a very like character based. People are digging into their own psychology, having strange situations thrown into them. We get a lot of parallels with our own lives. It's very philosophical in nature, but it's not getting crazy like what was the robot show? What was the robot show on HBO?
The robot show.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking. Westworld.
Westworld.
So it's philosophical in nature. It prompts some questions, but it's not getting up its own ass like Westworld did. It's filled with actors that are incredible dramatic actors, but these guys are primarily comedians. Like Adam Scott, hysterical guy. His podcast with Scott Aukerman, You Talking You Two to Me, hysterical. Turturro, he's in all kinds of funny shit. Zach Cherry, he's a underutilized gem that's got a growing career. It's very funny too, and despite dealing with some kind of heavy societal issues or life examinations, it's also kind of a light hand, just because people are like, what the fuck, and confused. So I just relate to it because it's people that are confused in strange situations, and I just feel like that's what every day is as a human, personally.
Yeah. Dude, it's such weird situation. You're right. Westworld kind of went off the rails too. I still have, I love Westworld. I just think what they did with like, where it was going. Sometimes they were supposed to do a 5th season or a final season, and it just never happened because Zaslav came in and canceled the whole thing. So that kind of sucks. I want to see where it went.
It was a little highfalutin. HBO shows in particular they try to make the audience feel like they're cool for watching it. That's bullshit.
Yeah, and also they spent a lot of money on that show too. I can't imagine they're spending that. Westworld was a movie, and then they did there's 4 seasons over on HBO. So I worked in the first 2 seasons. So I worked on a lot of things.
That's a good point, Brian. The cinematography is beautiful.
Everywhere.
But it takes place just in an office building.
Yeah, an office building. It's simple.
Cheap.
Yeah.
It's cheap. You have a limited cast. There's not a lot of like extra people. It's like super contained.
You work with Rachel?
With Rachel. Rachel.
I'm sorry. I'm thinking.
Rachel Evan Wood.
What?
Rachel Evan Wood, or
sorry. Yeah.
Rachel Wood. That's been around. Evan Rachel Wood. Yeah, I worked with her a lot.
She's great.
I doubled for James Marsden on there. I was Dead Teddy. If you guys ever watch that show and you see Teddy dead in the ground, that's probably Brian. And then so many times he tapped me out.
Shit.
110 degrees, and I'm laying in my hat, my cowboy hat, covering my face, and I'm like sweltering and sweating.
A friend of mine did not have good experiences with her.
She was kind of a tough cookie. But I will tell you a story that was great. It was like 115 degrees, and they wanted to keep going into meal penalties and keep going into lunch, and everybody's like dropping. Like people are freaking sweating so bad, they're overheated. There's no shade. Everyone's freaking out, and they're producers like, keep going, we gotta get this. And then they're like, whoa, where's Evan Rachel Wood? Where's she at? She's like, that's it, we're going to lunch. These people are gonna drop dead. And she got in a van, she went to lunch, and we had to call for lunch. So like she shut stuff down when it was going too far. So
yeah, I mean, I'm going to just say real quick, heat exhaustion is a real thing. You need to literally, before you start to feel like you're going to pass out, before you get there, I mean, that's already coming to a point where it's like too late. You have to literally be out of the sun, in water, the whole thing. It's a big deal.
That's a good PSA.
Yeah,
good. Yeah. Exactly, Mike. It's a PSA to everybody. I mean, we're probably not in that realm now as we're in the like almost winter time, but like to some extent we all just need to take a step back, get into some shade. Don't let a director or producer push you if you're somebody who's in that industry like this, and just say, you know what, I'm gonna take a break.
Take a little break. I'm just gonna say, like, though, again, this happens on set. These things happen, and it's nice when someone stands up for the rest of the crew and the cast and stuff that has that power, and they're not just like abusing the situation, because sometimes that happens too. But I am excited about this. Ben Stiller has some drama too. People sometimes hate on Ben Stiller, but he produced this. He's behind the whole thing. Adam Scott gets shit too all the time too, which is interesting.
What do you hear about Ben Stiller? I'd like to know, because I mean, I worked for TMZ, so I like to hear different people's opinions on what they.
I mean, I've had friends that have said like he will not talk to girls a lot of times. He'll snub them, yell at them, talk down to them. I don't know. I've heard that from multiple of my friends that worked out here, girls that have worked out here. I worked with him on a show called The Station, which was a CIA pilot, took place in South America with Justin Bartha and John Goodman, and he was really nice to me. He was really super nice to me. He thanked me for all my work, super kind. And everyone's like, well, that's because you're a guy. So, I mean, I don't know. Maybe he's nicer to guys than he is girls. I don't know what it is.
Why do you think that is? Maybe if you think, or if this, I mean, if usually more than one person's saying it, there's probably some truth there, because it's not, I mean, that's a little too coincidental.
Yeah.
So what do you think that is?
I don't know. Maybe it's like, maybe this is a bad situation. I just don't know. Maybe there's wrong time, wrong place. That can happen too. Or maybe there is something that maybe he has had something to do with, I don't want to play this again. Maybe he has something too, where it's like, with his marriage, or maybe something like his relationship, like who knows?
Yeah.
He is probably under a lot of pressure, I would expect.
A lot of pressure. He's producing, he's directing a lot of times. He's like really, he's doing
my cousin worked on King of Queens. The King of Queens. So his dad, my cousin, was his girlfriend on the show. Right. So I mean, I don't know. I think he would make like appearance. Obviously, he'd like, show up and stuff like that. I heard only like, I think I heard some good things. Oh, I did not. I heard good things about
Jerry Stiller.
Yeah. I mean,
Jerry Stiller's apparently amazing. Everyone says he's freaking fantastic.
Yeah, like really great.
I should say. Rest in peace.
No, but Ben Stiller would, show up too, right? Because his dad's show is on the show, so like, he'd come around, every so often, and I didn't hear anything like negative about him at that point. She was on for a little while. Francine York was her name, but she's passed away now. She's older. She's my dad's cousin, so like my second cousin. But She was in Hollywood for a really long time. Beautiful, amazing, wonderful actress. But yeah, she was on there for a bit. And yeah, I mean, I just heard good things. So I don't know. I never really, you just never know with people. You hear like, I mean, when I working entertainment and, the news reporting side of things, you see like videos people show you or send you of, someone who's maybe acting unsavory in the public eye. So you don't know the context of what's really happening, right? You have to kind of discuss it with somebody, right? Versus like just making and jumping to an assumption. You have to get some real clarity because you can get in trouble for that, right?
100%.
That's what I had to do all the time with stuff is we had to, did this actually happen? How do you know? You know what I mean? You have to because there's just too much backlash that happens.
Yeah.
So
yeah, defamation, people go crazy, it's like you got to be careful. And honestly, I always say too, it's like people will be like say something bad about an actor. Sometimes it's like if it happens one day on set, okay, you can have a bad day. Everybody's bad day at work. It happens. Happens 2 days, 3 days. I'm like, okay, you know what I mean? I feel like this is who you are. You're showing me your true colors.
Address the issue. Yeah.
Yeah.
With that one guy you talked about that was on Entourage. And
Jeremy Piven.
Yeah,
he'll be playing Harvey Weinstein one day.
Jeremy Piven.
Yeah, everybody in Hollywood loves Jeremy Piven.
Yeah, they do.
I mean, like you said,
GR does too.
There was no sarcasm at all in your voice, Mike.
Yeah, everybody's only got good stories to say.
Like he was just a jerk on set to people. I mean, obviously there was more than that going on, but
there was a lot happening shenanigans on Entourage. There were a lot of like situations with women there that were being brought in and then never brought back because of whatever happens behind closed doors. That was happening a lot. There was a whole thing that shut down production. They fired a bunch of people from Central Casting to do the casting for all the background women that were coming on. They were hiring models, and the actors would pick the models out, and some shady stuff was happening behind the scenes. And so those guys were fired.
So freaking disgusting sometimes. I'm sorry. I'm going to chime in on that. It makes my blood boil because it's so bullshit. Like I know it happens. I get it. I know that, but it's fucking gross. Like are people that weak that they can't take the like bull by the horns and be like, okay, cool. Yep. We like you. We know you're talented. You've got the vibe we're looking for this, but is it really that like, I don't know, where you have
it's power discrepancy though, right?
Right, power discrepancy. Yes, exactly. Power discrepancy, but you have to like cave to the fact that the actor like needs to have like power over like, you know what I'm saying? All these like PAs or whatever it is, or like make people feel like shit or, make women belittle them, treat them like fucking shit. Like, it's just like, what are you doing, dude? You're like just some bro. Like if the world were end tomorrow, no one would give a fuck about you. Like, sorry, but they wouldn't. Like, you're just like everyone else. You got lungs, you breathe air, you got a heart.
You're a human being.
Like,
no, he's an asshole.
And you're an asshole. And you're an asshole then. So I'm just like, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to, it just gets me a little like revved up clearly because 100%. I'm sick of these people who do this shit. Like, it's all the time. Like, you hear these, I mean, like him. I know many others. It's just, come on, like.
It seems like social media is kind of putting a little bit of air in those situations, though. I think it may be keeping people on their toes a little bit more than they had been in the past.
Because there's cameras everywhere now.
No one knows, Brian and Mike and GR. Nobody really knows. Like, they don't work with these people. Like, the public has no idea. They just like them because they look cool on a TV show. But, like, no one really knows. Like, I talk to celebrities. I've talked to them for decades. And, I know who they are behind behind a screen or behind a camera lens. Like, you see how they act. I mean, totally different, like a little bit of a different subject, but like with the P. Diddy stuff, like, look at this guy, like a total psycho, like weird, freaking sexual assaulting, disgusting piece of shit, like what he's done. And like, people were so afraid to come forward because he has power. He's got people in high places, and like, you can't really, I mean, it's hard to mess with that. And I mean, not that a lot of these other actors do, but they do with like working with like the certain, like the big talent houses. Like, they have power, the publicists, they have power. Like, it just depends who you're working with, but they do. Like, they will frickin' rain holy hell on you. Like
you show your spine. The thing is, you show your spine one time, Angela, and boom, that could be it for you in Hollywood. And that happens every day.
Yeah. Oh, I would be if I were working for who I used to work for, I'd be checked hard as shit. Like not in the sense that as long as it's accurate and it's what I'm saying is truthful and it's credible and it can be backed up, fine. But yeah, it would normally be like, what the hell were you doing? You know what I mean? That kind of thing, like screaming, yelling, talking down to me, calling me a bitch, calling me all those things. I mean, that's typical. Like that is sadly the language some people think that they're entitled to say to you because they work in the industry.
Yeah, it's fucked up. It's too much.
Yeah.
It's a problem. It's a problem. And it's like, again, these are human beings. Everybody's a human being. They're working a job, but then some people that go to their head and then they can treat people wrong, and then other people treat people right. It's a weird business. It's a weird business. And you're right. The PR people can spin things certain ways and manipulate the conversation, and it just sucks. I see it all the time when there's people there's shitty people. There's shitty people everywhere, but there's definitely shitty people in the business, and you just got to navigate through the shit and eventually, find the good people there.
It's like a constant cycle of abuse, to be honest. Yeah. I mean, that's why I had to get out of TV for a bit, because it was so abusive that, I mean, it starts to like just tear you down. And it's not to get like depressing, but like truthfully, it's like, I don't need to go to work and be called the B word by some guy that's my boss or mate, freelance. You know what I mean? Like, who are you to call me that? Because you think you have like dominion over like something? Your job is on the line too, bud. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
you have rights. You have rights in the workplace. You're an American.
Yes, exactly.
People will tell you to shut the fuck up sometimes and scream at you or call you an asshole, and it's like, get back to one. And it's like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, what? We're working a job.
Or like, this is a good one. Let's hire her. She's got, like when I overheard this conversation. It wasn't about me, but it was about someone else. They were like, this news director was like, let's hire her. She's got, big tits and whatever. It's, excuse my language, but that's what was stated. And it was like, I just sat there and I'm like, oh my God. And I remembered like with this individual when I got hired on, like I remembered when I would like do the tour of this network or whatever, like this individual would be staring at my ass the entire time that we were like going through. And I sat there and I looked and I'm like, is there something like, what is he looking at?
On me, or?
I figured, he's looking at my ass. Like it wasn't, and then he'd look at my chest. He would never look me in the face like half the time. And I'm like, then I realized after I heard like, by the door when I was going to go in to talk to him one day, it was like, then I overheard him say, hire her. She's got big, boobs, whatever, like to someone else. Yeah. I'm like, oh, that's great. Like, that's why the guy's hiring. Okay, cool. Like,
this town sometimes it becomes down to how you look as opposed to who you are and what you're doing, and people don't treat you like a human being sometimes. They treat you as a prop. Sometimes a prop they want to look at.
I'm sorry to hear you were exposed to that, Angela. Nobody should have to be exposed to that.
Oh, that's like the politest thing. Like I told Brian, there's been a lot of stuff. I mean, like the whole like Me Too stuff. I mean, we don't have to go down that rabbit hole, but I mean, I have been subjected to some heinous, crazy stuff.
Yeah, nobody needs that. I'm sorry I went through that too, Angela. It's not good. It's not good.
I know you guys are
bodyguard.
What's
bodyguard? GR the bodyguard coming in.
GR, you guys can be, your bodyguards.
See Daddy coming in. Right, Peppy? What?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, coming in.
49 years, but dirtbags like that don't deserve to live anyway.
No. And that's a whole conversation that happens. People always show their true colors sometimes, and especially in this town. You got to be careful, and I'm sorry that happened to Angela. It happens too often, too many times, and it's too sad. It just sucks.
Yeah, I mean, I send out I feel horrible for everybody else that I know that goes through the same thing. It's freaking awful, and have to go everywhere cringing, having to deal with that person or multiple people that just treat them like shit. It's awful. Like it is. There's nothing worse. So it's like
it takes a long time to build your career. It takes a long time to build your career through that and navigate through that bullshit.
You know, when you built your career and you're at like a kind of like place that everybody looks at as like your Like you're at the pinnacle. They look up to you, right? For everything. Like you are the one that like all the networks, when I would cover major breaking entertainment news events, they would all come to me. Like at the I call it at the circus. They'd come to me for all the information because they were like, oh, you worked for TMZ, whatever. So like, they would come to me for like that information. I mean, I'm talking Good Morning America, like anyone who looks up to any of those major networks, those networks came to me. I met some of my greatest, close friends from those, experiences. And they got, kind of like intel from me because, I wouldn't give them everything, but I'd help them out a little bit because they just didn't have that. They didn't have that base, but at the end of the day, like, I just started to ignore my like phone calls and I'd get like screaming. I'm talking like screaming. Like I've probably got one still on my phone, like from back when I was working with them. And like it was just like, oh, so-and-so's yelling, screaming. You can hear them in the background. It's just like, I can't do this.
Not called for.
No, like no one's put up with that shit. Like you've been on sets, you guys, all of you. Most of you at least. Mike, I don't know what your situation is.
I was out there. I was out there for a little while.
Yeah, so like you guys have been involved. But yeah, I don't want to not that I'm saying it's all bad. There's definitely good stuff too, but it's good. Yeah, it's just
sometimes it's great when they come after you. Sometimes it's bad. It's just a hat toss which you get yourself into.
Yo, player, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe and hit the bell to be notified when we are live. And if you are able to join our Patreon, please join. Because the Pepestar needs more snickety snacks. Because I'm hungry. Holla back. Love y'all.